no matter what the Diamond Balls do moving forward, is this trip to Omaha with 2 wins already a success? What say you, sir?
No, it's not it's not already a success. I said at the outset of the tournament that it's championship or bust for Tennessee, largely because Tennessee keeps touting these Directors Cup standings and where they stand as a college athletics program, as an all-around program. And oh my gosh, we are just amazing, guys. We are great in every sport. Look at us winning here, here, and here. And they keep not winning championships. So this is extra pressure on Tennessee baseball to deliver, not just for Tennessee baseball, but to deliver for the university. Because if I'm going to keep hearing about how good Tennessee is across all sports, I got to see some hardware with that. And that hasn't happened yet. So maybe that's unfair to Tennessee baseball, to be fair. Maybe that's unfair because it's not like other sports haven't held up their end. The softball program choked in the super regionals earlier this year. And football, basketball haven't won any championships. Women's basketball has completely fallen off the map. But it is what it is. The talk that the university has given, the talk that Danny White has given to promote this university, to say we're an everything sport, requires a championship come with it at some point. And we're in year 3 of all this promotion about that. And Tennessee now is at that point where they're knocking on the door and it's time for them to deliver. Now, I'll say this. They overcame a huge hurdle because getting past that first weekend and winning 2 games, that's like if they were – the chokes weren't just chokes of like, pushing on the door and losing at the end. No, there were flameouts in multiple sports. You know what I mean, Dave? Like they would get to the College World Series and just lose both games and be done. Or they wouldn't even make it, like the Super Regional 2 years ago. So to get out of the first weekend with 2 wins and no losses, that's a gigantic hurdle cleared mentally and just factually that other Tennessee baseball programs haven't been able to clear. But no, that's not meeting what they need to meet.
I think it's a success. And part of that is me projecting ahead, which may not be fair. You have to pardon me. I'm dealing with a little bit of an allergy issue. Sorry, Caleb. But I think it's already a success because they've done better than they've done in any College World Series before, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But they finished 4th, which would be the best that they have finished. And they've won 2 games in Omaha, but never more, correct? Am I wrong on that?
They won 3 in Omaha back in they actually won 4 in Omaha back in 1951, and then they went to the title game and they lost.
I'm talking like since the 90s, since the modern era, since they
history matters. You can't just history is not just when you started following.
I agree, but let's go with where we are in the modern era. You would agree there's a difference there. So what's the most games they've won since 90?
I think, I'll give you, since Rod Delmonico came along.
Yes. So,
I think it's only been 1.
Well, and I think that Tennessee also has a certain moxie here. And I'm not just saying this to endear myself to you as Tennessee fans. I'm saying this because I believe it. And I believe after what I saw on Friday that it may have been just good fortune, Caleb, but it may have been really clutch hitting, or it may have been all the above. But whatever that is, typically can propel you to something special. If you go back and look at each Tennessee team, and I'm going to do that actually today, if you go back and look at the 1998 National Championship football team, there was the Arkansas play. There were other plays as well. If you want to go back to basketball, for instance, last year making the Elite Eight, there were plays there made, but that just kind of feels like the type of game that sets the die, so to speak, that it's cast. And it's brought to you by the Hemp House, the premier hemp dispensary online with a wide variety, great selection, and strict standards to ensure you only receive the best in CBD or Delta products. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Hemp House Chat with 2Ts.com. Use the promo code HOOKED for 10% off. HOOKED for 10% off. So, Caleb, I'm going to say that this team is already a success because of the hurdle they've cleared, because they have to win, and because I definitely think they'll win at least one more. And I'm going to go on record, and I will tell you if I'm wrong. I think they win it all. I've watched a lot of baseball, and to me, they just have a certain moxie that they didn't have last year, and that a lot of the teams in Omaha don't have this year. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Friday I thought was really special, and you usually don't follow that up with a big goose.
No, look, I'm with you overall, and I've predicted that they're going to win it all too, and I think they will. And I'm with you on the mental hurdle. I mean, I think a big part of that is you bring up the 98 team. Dave, you covered that team. They escaped Florida. Let's call it what it is. They escaped Florida. I'll get some heat for this. Florida probably should have won that game. But the fact that they escaped, didn't it feel like the minute they escaped that game that, oh, this team is meant to win and they're going to win every game they play? So, like, even wasn't that the mental hurdle they cleared? So, like, when they played Arkansas later in the year and all hope seemed lost, it's like, I think the mental hurdle of the Florida game made them think, we'll still find a way to win this game.
No, that's a really good point. And that could come up in game 3 for Tennessee's game 3, not game 3 of the series, but that could come up in game 3. Caleb, if they're down late, you look back at game 1, your first game, and you say, hey, yeah, that's an interesting take you had. Had they not won that Florida game, do they lose the Arkansas game? Is that a 2-loss team? Probably so. I mean, I had never thought of it like that, but you probably don't believe late. You probably don't have as much to play for. So that makes a lot of sense.